Assalamu alaikum. Hi, Oracle Reiki Spiritual Healer. And I am just astounded that sometimes you can try to do the best for people. There have been many times that I have tried to do the best for people and they didn't want that. And, it kind of ticked me off because, I had invested, some time, some money. And, I'm glad that, I had not invested too much money so that, I could walk away from the situation or whatever. But, sometimes when you're dealing with these types of issues in your life, it makes you want to hate people. It makes you, and I'm not that type of person. I'm the type of person that, hate, people that try to unalive you. But when you go through, when you're trying to do the best and you're pointing out, okay, I'm trying to do the best for you, and you're still coming up with, malicious attacks, chauvinist ways, and you're not understanding that I'm not alone. So these are the ways that, society will weaponize anything you try to do, especially if you're a female. You will run into these chauvinist people that want to set up on you and attack you and don't want you to say anything about it. That I see you. And I got other people, they see you. So, these are, it kind of, I have to forgive people because now it has really backfired, and I'm at a loss for words. It has really backfired when you let another chosen one man understand what's going on. And, this is what I'm trying to do. When you let a chosen one man look into your life and understand what you're going through, and they say that's not right. That's not right. So, we have to understand this right here. This is the understanding that we have to have as chosen one men and women, that there are people out here that is only trying to take advantage in the name of God and in the name of everything else. A lot of these people, have sided with the entity, and we have to use our discernment when we are dealing, in business or any other place in society. So, in having said that, I appreciate my chosen one brethren. I appreciate my chosen one family. I appreciate all of you because, we have to have each other's back against these narcissists, against these toxic people. So this is another way that they will, come against chosen ones. They will weaponize society. They will weaponize business against the chosen one so that they will be at a loss, so that they can siphon their financial energy, so that they can take advantage of the chosen one. But, but we have to understand that God will not let it go through. Every time that you're trying to do something that is despicable, God will not let it go through. The chosen one of the chosen ones, when you have ran into your family, the chosen one family, it will not go through because it will be discerned even before it get to the level that we are, that we can't back out of it, that we can't, move away from, this person or this business deal. So I was saving this for Friday, but, this is the understanding that when you are in business, and the Holy Bible and the Holy Quran talks about, being wrong in business. People wrong each other in business all the time. And having that, most of the people that you will meet and have to go through are the males of the world. You would think that they would be better than, showing their chauvinist and showing their true colors in their business deal against females, and end up losing the whole business, the money, and the person, the project, everything. They end up, and this has been the case, for me with a lot of people. And like I said, one of the worst business deals that I ever made was my first husband. My other two husbands were great. I compare it to my first husband. Let me make sure what I'm saying to you. My other two husbands, my second husband and my third husband, they did not want me to spend my money. They wanted to do things for me as, chosen one men are supposed to. They are going to lead me and guide me on things that I did not know. And for my first husband, it was not like that. It was more or less, I'm going to take advantage of you. You need to pay for, you need to pay for me. This is what my mother taught me. This is what, these women have been doing for me. And this is what you're going to do. No, I'm not. I'm going to get the hell away from you. And so I am, this situation is equal to my first husband. And, I was just, I said, well, let me just run this past, somebody else, because obviously I see the behavior. I see the red flags in the business deal, but let me run it because, I'm accustomed to management. I'm not accustomed to this type of business. So let me run this through somebody who is accustomed to this type of business deal. And, they said to me, it doesn't matter if you are in management or not. You know the behavior of people. You know when something is off, and, something's off. Something's off. This person is trying to have their way. They're trying to do what they want to with your resources, with your financial energy. And so therefore, and I hate to be, really nasty and ugly, because, and like I say, I'm not allowed to hate people that act like that. I don't even hate my first husband. As a matter of fact, I wish that, he could have been better. If he had been better, then I would have better things to say. And just look at you. Okay, so now that the chosen one men, the chosen one family has taken over, and I don't have anything to say on the business tip, because I warn these people, and and warning them, and them understanding that they can take advantage of a little lady. They want to take advantage of a little lady. So, it's cool. It's fine with me. When the chosen men step up, when they step up and say no, they mean no. So ain't no coming back from your behavior when you're a narcissist. Okay, we're calling that kind of behavior out. And and as a matter of fact, like I say, in the Holy Quran, in the Holy Bible, there have been a lot of people who have entered into business deals. As we understand, Abraham and Lot could not stay together because their sheep kept intermingling, or their cattle kept intermingling together. And, it's hard to separate those cattle when, if you're lazy, you haven't branded your cattle, or you want to brand them with the same brand I got. Okay, so when we're having problems in business, the best thing to do, as I was talking to the chosen one men, just to scrap it and start over. That's the best thing to do. When they weaponize their knowledge against you in the business deal from day one, when they weaponize, being a chauvinist to take advantage of the situation from day one, and you giving them chance after chance, at this point, you just don't even want to talk anymore. You're tired of talking, and when women get tired of talking, guess what happens? We disappear. We don't. No. So, these are some of the ways that, my brother has, the brothers, the chosen one brothers of the earth has let me understood that, everybody isn't out for your best interest. When your gut feeling is telling you that they weaponized the system against you, you have to see it for what it is, accept it for what it is. It doesn't matter if it's in the court system. It doesn't matter if it's in your home. When everyone is against you because you see them and you're calling them out on, their BS, then it was always meant for you to fail. It was meant, they have set the system up against chosen ones in order to fail. But, this is the way that I believe. When you have weaponized your system against me, then I have to go in another direction. I can go, with somebody else who doesn't have the same behavior or doesn't have the same conduct. And, I've done this on many occasions. I was doing this before, I left on this mission. And, I had, people whom I was in business deals with, and they were, intentionally trying to overcharge me. Okay, so, and guess what? God separated me from those people. So when you're in a business deal and a person is telling you don't do that, but you're so used to being, nasty and shady, then, at the end of the day, then we have to make sure that we do the best thing for us by moving ourselves out the way. Anything that is upsetting us over time, anything that is, that is trying to manipulate you on a business deal financially, always ask somebody, always run it past somebody. And this is what the narcissists don't want. They have tried to keep you from asking other people, is this normal? Okay, so when you are asking people, is this normal? And they're saying, you're spot on, you're dead right. That's a narcissist. You need to, do better, go further than that business deal. And this is why we don't make rash decisions, because we know as chosen ones that the system has been weaponized against us. We were never supposed to win. We were never supposed to break out of the matrix. We were never supposed to wake up and see these people and the behavior and feel the energy that they're sending out, that negative frequency towards something. That silence, that stillness is the narcissist sending out that negative frequency, to manipulate something, to take advantage of something. So, this is where we are, today. And, I really appreciate all of you who have supported me. I'm still working behind the scenes. I'm working with other chosen ones, and I really appreciate all of your support. Please reach out to me and let me know in a comment if someone has weaponized the system against you in your homes, in society, in the school, in the workplace. Let me know in the comments what was going on in your situation. You can also donate to me, like, share, and subscribe to me over all of my platforms. Please book your one-on-one consultations, your life coaching sessions, or your video chat sessions with me. I'm High Oracle, Reiki spiritual healer. Assalamu alaikum.